Okay, welcome back to the channel to another video on the Audi A3 today. Going to do a little bit of a different one. I've basically owned this car for just shy of 2 years, and the amount of times that people have asked me how much stuff costs, how much it is to run, how much has gone wrong with it that I've had to repair, and I just thought I'd basically cover it in one video and get through everything. So I'm going to start from when I purchased the car, everything that we've done, sort of minus modifications, because obviously that doesn't really come into the price of keeping a car. If you want to modify it, fine, but you know, everyone knows that sort of extra on top. So what we're going to do, go back to the start. I'm going to, from memory, anything that I can think of that I've done to the car so far, any problems and stuff like that, and then Lauren is going to help me and go through sort of some of the videos on the channel, and hopefully we'll cover all the maintenance and what the car has cost. If that works for you.
Yeah.
Lauren gets very car sick when looking at her phone, so yeah, if she does start puking up out the window, yeah, you know why.
Well, I'll do it for the sake of this video for you.
That's it. Well, we've got that better to
Must like you.
Yeah, we're driving all the way to Leeds, so we've got a bit of time to sort of cover this sort of stuff that you wouldn't usually get to hear.
When do you want to start? Do you want to start the first video?
No, it will start before these videos because I didn't immediately bring this. This car wasn't meant to be sort of a channel car that got modified and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it starts before the video. So effectively, I'm going to start with what I knew was wrong with the car when I bought it. And a couple of things wrong with it. Some of the sort of interior armrests, I don't know if you can see on the wide angle, but this armrest here was ripped. All the trims around the gear stick and out on the door handles, they were all sort of faded and nasty. It did have a rusty driver's wing, so it needed a new wing. None of the electrics worked inside, so none of the central locking worked. The windows didn't go down, the indicators didn't work, you couldn't listen to any music, so speakers didn't work. You couldn't move the mirrors.
Looking back at it, this car was absolutely...
It was a bit knackered when I bought it, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bit knackered when I bought it.
I can't believe it, it's the same car.
Works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's alright, it's living the dream. So yes, the first things that I did basically, obviously the first thing was trying to get the central locking sort of to work again. Now I'm not going to cover all these sort of problems because I have done a video, like a buyer's guide on these cars, that will cover these sorts of problems and how to repair them. But effectively, the first one was a little bit of wiring in the door, and that's why none of it worked. All your central locking goes by your driver's door, and yeah, over time basically the wires that connect your door to the car degrade. So that was only about a £5 job from a scrapyard, and me and one of my friends spent a couple of hours just resoldering it. So that pretty much fixed all the electrical issues just with that one bit of sort of wiring loom. That was happy days, and when all of a sudden I had speakers back, I could lock the car, I could move my mirrors, I could put my windows down.
Quite handy having your car to lock, really, isn't it?
Sometimes. I mean, I won't lie, I reckon that's probably one of the reasons that the guy sold it.
Yeah,
because he lived in the middle of Lincoln, didn't he?
The fact that he forgot to tell you, like, oh, sorry, the car doesn't lock.
I know, but do you know
it's
what?
just like, it was so sneaky.
Can you remember though, this is the same guy,
Yeah,
all the wheels were curved.
Lied about
and he tried to blame it on his wife, didn't he?
We proper stitched him
Yeah,
up,
just as we're about to leave, she was like, oh, it's funny that, because I've never driven that car before. It just got busted, didn't it? He was like, well, you can't admit to it, which is fair play. But either way, so that was the first thing. That only cost about £5. The interior wrap was about 15 quid to get rid of all the faded black plastic. The driver's wing was about 100 quid. Then the car went on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind going on the videos, find out what we've done so far.
Actually, yeah, you introduced the car 1 year ago in your introduction video.
Yeah, and I've had the car 2 years, so I'm pretty sure I'd had the car for a year before I did anything on YouTube with it, because it was all focused on the Polo, obviously.
Yeah. Cruise control.
No, that's not a problem. But cruise control, for anybody wondering, probably about 85 quid, and you can fit it yourself. Yeah, I've done a video on that, so if you want to retrofit it yourself, go check out that video on fitting cruise control, because my car did not come with it, and now it's got it, and I'll be using it in a second.
So again, the next video after that wasn't anything wrong with it. You de-wiped it.
Yeah, but that was because the rear wiper on this car was broken.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a common problem on these cars, sagging rear wiper. You could fix it if you want and put a new wiper on, but just like we've done on the Up GTI in the last video, I just de-wipered this, about 15 quid. So yeah, 165 quid all in so far. Running total. What's the next thing?
So the next video after that is when you got Hunter 4-wheel alignment.
Yeah, alignment. It didn't. Where have you not missed something here? Because have we not had wheels and tyres before that? No.
Nope.
You sure?
Nope.
Okay. Right. So Hunter wheel alignment. That'll knock you back about 65 quid. This car was so far out of line, it's making all the wheels cast alight, the tyres cast alight. So yeah, 65 quid for a Hunter wheel alignment.
And then you got new tyres.
Yeah, because I didn't want to put the new tyres on while it was knackered.
A
Right.
wheel change.
Okay, so in terms of the running total, I'm going to put that on the screen rather than keep doing it because I'm not going to be able to keep this up. What's that one?
Give me a second, it's just adverts.
Nice. Remember to watch the adverts, people, and subscribe if you haven't already. Right, so the next thing that I needed to do, because obviously my tyres are all castellated, was a set of tyres. Again, wear and tear, about 300 quid. Pilot Sport 4s went on it, so yeah, really common size, 225, 4018, I'm pretty sure they are. And yeah, they're about 300 quid. And then I spent about 260 quid on refurbing the wheels because they were losing air. So yeah, you could argue that that's something you have to do.
He was literally there. Was you there like twice a week, if not more?
Wow.
Like pumping your tyres up?
Yeah, basically they'd corroded so much that they were just leaking air, so they needed a refurb. You could probably have got away with just sort of sanding the paint down on the inside when you change the tyres, but refurb, I don't know, looked nicer, and it went silver. So yeah, about 550 quid there. What's the next video? From this point onwards, by the way, I filmed everything that I did to the car, so it was only the wing and the other little bits that I didn't film effectively.
So you didn't really fix anything, but you did a modification. You did the Alcantara.
Yeah, that's fine, we've covered that already. So that's about 15 quid for a bit of Alcantara wrap. Got rid of the faded black plastics.
After that, you did the sweeping indicators. Dynamic.
No, that's modification, we won't cover that. Nothing was broken.
And then you did a full service.
Yeah, so a service on this car is about 80 quid if you can do it yourself. Again, done a video on that, so if you do want to service it yourself, feel free to watch that as a little bit of a guide.
And then it was the biggie.
What?
The thermostat.
Thermostat, so big as in big job, but not big cost. That's the thing. So
it was tricky for you, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, because I've never done it before.
Yeah.
Again, there's a video on it. It did take me. My car was off the road for about a week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's had half the engine in bits.
Yeah,
I snapped something.
Yeah.
Thermostat, Audi genuine part I used. It's about £60 for the part from Audi or VW. Find the part number, and yeah, it's fairly cheap parts of thermostat. Obviously, I did that myself as well, but I did in the meantime while I was repairing that. I did crack the sort of plastic tubing that the dipstick sits in, and that cost again about 65 quid. I think that was more than the thermostat, but I had to replace it because yeah, the car didn't run right without it, and obviously you could have just got dirt straight into your sump, which isn't ideal. So next video. So yeah, after the thermostat and after about a year or so of ownership, eventually I started getting some engine warning lights. So I'd had a bit of a lucky run before that, but yeah, eventually they came. So the faults were both engine codes. One was the MAF sensor, and the other was an exhaust gas temperature sensor. I looked into both of these as genuine parts because the thermostat was cheap enough, and they wanted about 150 quid for the EGT sensor and about 150 quid for the MAF sensor. So I actually bought second-hand parts for both of these straight off eBay. They're about £20 each, that's another 40 quid onto the running total. And yeah, thankfully they both worked. Again, videos on both of these things if you need help replacing them. So yeah, 40 quid. What's the next thing? That solved both the issues, by the way, which I was quite impressed at because it was a bit of a lucky guess.
So it wasn't a problem, but you installed the bumper, and then, which is like a mod, and then after...
It was, but it was because my bumper was knackered, wasn't it?
Actually.
It was a scratched up bumper, so it was the part of getting into this car for cheap was because it needed work doing. So I think I paid 180 quid for an S3 rear bumper that bolted straight on. But because of that, I realised that after I'd fitted that, the exhaust was misaligned. So I had to get a local company another £100 to basically install some like custom exhaust tips. I didn't do like a back box delete or anything like that. They just made me some nice stainless polish tips and sort of fitted them perfectly in the back bumper, so it just looks sort of OEM, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another 280 quid. What's next?
So then you did another mod inside the car, which was your gear stick.
Gear stick, didn't need to change that.
No.
But that was about 25 quid. It is an Audi A1 S-tronic gear stick, if anybody's wondering what it was, or if you've seen that video in the past. But I reckon that is the biggest thing to sort of modernise the interior, is getting rid of the gear stick that was in this car before. It was like a side button, and we modified it to take a front button and a much more modern gear stick. So it's the same gear stick that you would find in an A1 up until the new shape, so up until about 2019. So if you can get your hands on one, then yeah, grab one. Makes all the difference.
Now I can't remember what that is, but it's where you got your door on.
Most annoying part of my Audi. Oh yeah, because it was keyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing, this car was keyed when I got it on the passenger door, so I did have to replace the door. I think that was about 80 quid for a full door skin. Same place I got the rear bumper from, which was Vag Planet Breakers.
This common problem made my A3 undrivable.
I'll tell you what that was. That was the ABS sensor. You remember when it stopped wanting to be an automatic? Yeah, right. So that is a common problem. ABS sensors in these cars, if you have got an S-tronic, because my ABS sensor went faulty, my car would not change gear, right? Because it didn't know what speed it was doing. Your ABS sensor also monitors how fast your car goes, and for some reason, that determines what gear it's in. Yeah. So I had to, for like 2 weeks while this part came from Germany, basically drive my car as a manual.
You were so angry.
Oh, it was annoying.
You every time you got in the car, it was just like
it wasn't ideal. But
you were just like, oh god, this car.
Yeah, it was a cheap fix though. I think that part shipped from Germany was about 40 quid for a sensor and a couple of other. I'm sure it came with like, I don't know. It came with other stuff as well. I'm sure it did.
That's nice.
What is that? A Triumph 1500 with blue wall. Hopefully you can see that in the windows. It's just gone past. That car had blue wall tyres on. I like a white wall, but I've never seen a blue wall before. So yeah, after that, I honestly don't think this car's cost me that much money.
No,
to say it's one that's got so many common problems.
You lowered it. Wasn't really a problem.
No, it wasn't really a problem.
I mean, you could say that, you know, the car handles better.
It does handle better. To be fair, these cars, a lot of people complain that they snap springs. Same with Mark 5 Golfs, snapping standard springs. Again, I put mine on like IBAC 55mm springs, which lowers an S-line the 25mm. But if you've got a standard A3, it would lower it 55mm. But yeah, they're about 100 quid from Autodoc in Germany. So, yeah. I know I serviced it again recently, so another 80 quid there for a service. Anything else? Is that about it?
You changed the control arms.
That is true. Yeah. I think it's caster. Basically, when I was braking, my wheel was moving back in my arch. They picked that up on my Hunter alignment. Yeah. Actually, I got another Hunter alignment after I lowered the car and put these control arms on. I think I did the rear control arms and I did the front. You can get like an anti-lift kit, so you can upgrade it, but I just replaced it with like original parts. I think that was about 200 quid all in. But it did need doing. They were all sort of wobbly. Most of that is bushings really.
After you did all that with the lower instruments, everything just felt so comfy and just.
Yeah, it did. It felt
like a brand new car.
Yeah, it did.
You had new tyres, new wheels, and just everything was done, wasn't it? And it was just felt like new.
Yeah, it was good.
It was very comfy.
Worthwhile doing, yeah.
It was.
Replacing bushings. That is one thing to do that will tighten up your car no end, is replacing old worn out bushings. So yeah, highly recommend doing that. Again, video on it if you care. In fact, if you don't care, watch it anyway. Watch all the adverts.
Yeah.
And,
You're going to link them all above, aren't you? And everything.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No.
I've talked about a lot of videos so far.
Link
I'll
them
try.
all.
Yeah, I'll try.
Go on.
This guy's a lunatic. Right, next. I don't know. Go on.
This is a good one because this involved me. Heaters inside the car.
Oh yeah.
Not working.
Yeah. So
Blown
that was
cold.
actually that took me nearly 2 years to repair, didn't it?
It did.
So when I got this car, only the driver's side heating worked. The passenger side didn't. It
And
always blew cold air.
You literally didn't believe me for ages. You'd be like, you're lying.
Yeah.
You literally,
And do you know
it's
what?
not blowing cold air.
As-
Like Matthew,
as-
my feet are freezing.
As selfish as it sounds, you're not in the car all that often, or I don't have passengers all that often, because it's just a working back. So it was just sort of bottom of the priority list.
It
But
was, yeah.
again, do you know what?
Didn't care about me, did you?
No, pretty much not. But no, eventually, yeah, I did get around to fixing that. That was another scrapyard thing. So yeah, thankfully, it was a cheap part.
It was actually a sensor, wasn't it?
That was a sensor, yeah. So I had the wrong part in my room for absolutely ages. It was like a little actuator motor thing. Basically, it's got dual zone climate control in this car. So there's this little motor that basically either made both sides the same or allowed it to be different temperatures both sides, and this arm somehow controlled that. I got around to fitting it, and yeah, it turned out not to be that. It was like an inline, what would you? Yeah, temperature sensor.
Yeah,
that's what it was, wasn't it?
Because
Really?
you could see it.
Yeah.
Like every time that you could see the arm moving.
Yeah.
Like when
So basically, it was something to do with this arm, but basically, the car thought it was warmer than it was on the passenger side, so it was reading it way too hot and basically making the air colder. Yeah, pretty much. So. Nice, look, you know how it works as well. Nice work. Must have watched your video, did you?
I watched your videos.
Nice work. Did you subscribe? Did you watch it all the way till the end?
Yeah,
Did you watch all the
every time.
adverts?
You know I do.
Next thing. So yeah, that was a good one. Again, that was a couple of quid, literally a scrapyard thing. I think I got like 3 sensors. I've still got 2 more in my glove box, just in case it ever happens again, but they're only a couple of quid apart. So yeah, 6 quid.
That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And then I've serviced it again recently. That's it, so another 80 quid there for a service.
That's everything.
I think it's been a good car. A lot of stuff that I've done to this car hasn't been like buying it all at once. It's been like just over time, whenever something's come up.
It's the fact that you've not even realised you spent the money you have on it because it was just
been
like...
over. Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea about what one of these cars could cost over 2 years of ownership.
If someone had bought this car off this guy and seen the state of it,
it's pretty knackered, wasn't it? It was pretty knackered.
You would literally sit there and you'd literally think this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
to be totally honest, looking back at it, I don't know why I bought it.
I know, but you just needed a cheap car that you could.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I suppose that was it, wasn't it? It was budget.
Yeah, it was a
I
budget
couldn't afford
car,
anything
and
nicer
he
at
was
the
like
time.
prepared to, you know.
It was top spec as well. It's
It
like
was.
it's a good spec. It's got a good engine in it. It's like the 170 horsepower CR. It's automatic, so I can drive to work and drink coffee.
Just
And it's black, and it's black edition.
Yeah.
So it
just needed a
an
bit of
S-Line.
love.
Yeah, it did just need a bit. Right, so hopefully that sums up how much this sort of car would cost over 2 years. This is a high mileage car. It's got 172,000. I've done a fair chunk in the last 2 years, and yeah, it hasn't really cost me a lot, and what it has all been easy fixes. So yeah, don't be scared to buy one if it has got high mileage. Just make sure you got a scrapyard local. But yeah, if you are still watching this video, I'd be very impressed. Make sure you subscribed, give it a thumbs up. See you in the next one, won't we? Peace out. See ya.